Brad Bernstein, lawyer and expert in American immigration laws. Welcome to Al Arabiya, sir.
Thank you very much, Talal.
Can you explain to our viewers how the modification of the Privacy Act system of records went into effect?
Well, it went into effect by executive order by Donald Trump. This is not a law by Congress. This is an edict by Donald Trump that says that if you apply for a visa, you apply for entry in the United States, as a green card holder, as a visa holder, or as a naturalized U.S. citizen, the U.S. government is going to compile all of your social media handles, your photos, your likes, who your friends are, who you're associating with on social media, and use that as part of a determination whether or not to allow you into the United States of America.
And while you are in the United States of America, is this operation of collection of information continues?
It will be continuing, correct.
Is it for security reasons? And
well,
in the war against terror, I mean, if it was against the war against terror, some might argue it's justified.
Well, it's for two reasons. One, they're trying to prevent fraud. So, for example, if you're coming on a visitor's visa, they want to make sure you're truly coming to visit, you're not coming to work. If you're coming on a student visa, they want to make sure that you're coming to go to school and that you're going home. You're not coming here to get married to a U.S. citizen. It's also being used for security purposes. They want to make sure that the people who are coming into the United States are doing the right thing when they are here. They are not bad people. So they're going to be using your social media to look who you're interacting with, what you're liking, who you are talking to, and use that as a determination whether or not you are talking or liking things that you shouldn't be doing.
So let me ask you, do you feel this amendment of the law, the privacy law, making us secure here inside the United States?
Well, I'm not sure if it's making us more secure or not. We'll figure that out as we go along, because it's only been 3 or 4 days. But what it is doing is pitting one group against another. It's making people feel less secure in terms of what they're doing online. It's making people certainly a lot more anxious. And if I was a bad person, I would just not be giving much information about myself on social media. So really what the government's going to be doing is looking at good people's social media who's going to say, oh, this doesn't apply to me. And if you're a bad person, you're just going to say, well, I'm just not going to go on social media anymore.
Okay. Who are the people who are going to be affected by this new amendment?
Every person who is applying for a visa at a U.S. consulate abroad. You apply for a visitor's visa, a student visa, a work visa. The government is going to ask you for all your social media handles. They are going to go look at your Facebook. They will be looking at your Instagram.
Do they ask you for your password and ID as well?
They may, but the U.S. government doesn't need it. They have the ability to go look at it anyway. Okay, so in this day and age, they don't need your passwords. If you think that you're going to make a photograph private, or you're going to like a private posting, if they wanted to, I'm not saying they're going to, but if they wanted to, they can pierce that and look at it.
And they can do that abroad.
They can do that abroad. It is Constitution of the United States only applies to people in the United States. So our rights to privacy do not expand beyond the borders of the United States.
How likely they will practice this against people abiding abroad?
Very likely. They intend to do it. They've been doing this since 2012. They've been doing it without an executive order being published. This is now by executive order. The President of the United States of America has ordered every person who's applying for a visa, has ordered the U.S. government to look at all of their social handles, all of their photos, what they're looking at, what they are liking. This is going to be happening on a broad scale.
Can you explain to me why there isn't much of a media fuss about the subject?
Well, I think there's not much of a media fuss yet because it hasn't affected the general American citizen. This is affecting people outside of the United States who are applying. This is affecting people at the airports. If you know anything about immigration law, when you are at the airport and you are showing your visa and waiting for that stamp, the U.S. Constitution does not apply until they let you through that airport, you get your luggage, and you walk out of the airport. Until then, you have no rights to privacy. And an American citizen who is born in the United States, this doesn't affect. It's affecting foreigners. It's affecting people with green cards and even naturalized U.S. citizens.
So people who are not originally Americans, they have other passports, and suddenly they go through the process of naturalization, obtain American citizenship, they will be subject to this.
They will be subject to this, and that's probably where this will be found illegal, because there is a Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution for unlawful search and seizure, for rights to privacy, and you're a naturalized U.S. citizen. You can't treat naturalized U.S. citizens any different than an American-born citizen. We both have the same passports.
They all have the same right, except, of course, for the
to become the President of the United
States. How about American citizens who are born here? They're through and through American citizen for the last 200 years. And
people like myself.
Like people as your good self.
Right, okay.
But have dealings with immigrants or naturalized citizens or Arabs or Muslims. Are they subject to monitoring? They're
not subject to monitoring, but remember, this is the Department of Homeland Security. They cover a lot more than just the immigration. They cover security of the United States of America. So, for example, if I, as an American citizen, start corresponding by some social media handle with somebody who may be a bad person, and they get caught up applying for a visa as a bad person, and they see me corresponding, yes, it could come back and haunt me.
And they can monitor you as well.
Correct, correct.
If somebody hacked my Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter account and posted something negative, say, long live a terrorist or of some sort.
In your name.
In my name.
Right.
Now, when they collect this information, they don't tell me we are collecting this information about you. I don't know if they have this information recorded against me. How do I find out and explain to them, this was a hacking, this wasn't me?
Well, you can find out. They have something called a Freedom of Information Act request, but you're not going to really get any information from that. And until you actually apply for something, whether you apply for a visa or a green card or your citizenship, or you have a problem coming to the airport, you're not going to know about it. And quite frankly, it's a big problem. How are they going to be able to sort this out? We don't know. You're going to have to deal with this on an individual basis as it's happening.
So I have to run to somebody like you.
Correct.
And I say, Brad, come and help me.
Correct.
Because this information they have is wrong.
Right. Now, Donald Trump, he doesn't like immigration lawyers, but he's keeping me in business with this.
Another problem. Now, with all this hacking going around the world, whether it's Chase Bank or whether it's the Defense Department or the DNC, what makes me feel comfortable that somebody like the Homeland Security have all my information and that it will not be hacked for whatever reason?
You should be extraordinarily uncomfortable. We've seen it even just recently with Equifax in the United States of America. Somebody hacked into Equifax and stole hundreds of millions of people's Social Security numbers. I have more trust in U.S. corporations for security of my information than I certainly do of the United States government. So I feel, as an American citizen, uncomfortable.
People in the Middle East trying to come over for visit, for education, for medical treatment, or whatever reason, tourism. If they want to obtain some information about the whole immigration system and its pitfalls, how do you advise them where to go, who to talk to?
Well, unfortunately, there's no one depository where you can be helped. You really got to go find a very good attorney who understands the ins and outs of the immigration process. If immigration was easy, we wouldn't exist as attorneys here. Trust me. You know, I do a show every day on Facebook at Law Offices of Spar and Bernstein. You can look it up at Law Offices of Spar and Bernstein. And I'm on at 9 a.m. and 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, New York time, and I answer immigration questions for 1 straight hour.
We thank you, sir, for this interview, for all this important information that you explained to our viewers. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the time.